Welcome back for the Divine Masculines update and a very warm welcome to May. Good grief. Have we made it through the eclipse and waters going down with the twin flame path as well as the joint connection come through every Sunday for the super chats. And if you do want this content a week ahead of the crowd, you can jump on and join our membership. Now, what do I see coming through with the Divine Masculine? As soon as I saw these cards, I was like, wow, this really reeks an old cycle, leaving, departing. I mean, we've got all these priorities up in the air. We've got all these circumstances they're dealing with. I really do feel they are thinking about you in mind, but they do have this overwhelming circumstance. Now, this may have been due to the eclipse or the pending one up and coming, but I do particularly see through their crowning energy, they do have a lot of balls in the air and they're sort of going, okay, I've got to cross the T's and dot the I's. It could also be a circumstance relating to a past tense connection. Like I said, what's really oozing here is A, subjects relating to divine feminine, and B, subjects relating to the past. So wherever they are in the mix, be it they're in a karmic relationship or they're already in separation, they're cycling something out, this appears to be quite a messy situation they're dealing with. It doesn't mean to say that it's not going to get cleared up. I mean, really looking at this, for some it could be a physical divorce, the messiness of it, trying to make everyone happy and going, good grief, where do I fit in the mix of this? Now, I see Divine Masculine coming through this week, acknowledging the fact that there's a lot to deal with, acknowledging the fact that there's a lot on their plate, and that, many of us may need to be super patient with this circumstance, both within our own inner Divine Masculine, with all the balls in the air, and within our own lives of our marriages, partners, contracts, connections, the old and the new, and Mercury is retrograde. I'm looking to the past at the moment, and in the past position, they do, in fact, have the skill to be able to address this, okay? They could be looking at the bigger picture of maybe what they had wanted to achieve versus what they currently have right now, but they do have the skills to be able to deal with these things. They're also looking at partnerships and what they really mean, and it's like the team, right? There's no I in team, and there's a lot of acceptance and revelations about that. Whomever they were dealing with, whatever they were dealing with, be it was a family-related dynamic, a romantic partner, at a point things were working, at a point they had an idea, and I do feel they're trying to implement it at this point, but something in the game has changed, and I definitely feel their direct direction is shifting. It's almost like, they keep saying there's no I in team. So the deep revelation of people that aren't working for them is very relevant. Some of them may have to work with these individuals temporarily. They also could have some subjects surrounding employment coming up for them, maybe changing some circumstances around such. And separately, how do they mix love in the mix of this, cycling out an old cycle and trying to meet that reconciliation level with divine feminine? I do feel in the heart of the matter, there are some delayed feelings. There is some uncertainty, and that's because it's kind of a healthy way to look at it. It's not so much they're unsure about their heart. I don't think that's the problem. I feel it's the guilt associated to so many balls in the air, trying to make everyone happy. How do I cycle this out? How am I going to manage it? And it has actually taken quite a toll. But they are actually being very realistic and looking at the bigger picture. Now that everything is said and done, where they stand right now, going into their heart space and, really coming to an acceptance with the people that they had to cut out of their life, the people that potentially they're choosing to cut out of their life, guilt associated to such. But whatever that uncertainty is, the confusion could be because we did have a lot of difficulty with the previous eclipse. Mercury is retrograde, and we're moving into these new chapters with great ideas, but there could be some sense of missing information. So I really think they're tuning into their heart at the moment. They know what they want, but they definitely are looking at the bigger picture. So I think that is quite healthy, really. I would want somebody to be really looking at the long-term goal here that they're trying to attain. And I think Divine Masculine is really doing such. I think the circus, and I really do think this is about a previous connection. This does not have to have been a romantic connection. I feel it's with the people that are nearest and dearest to them, feeling very out of sync, not quite themselves at the moment. So, especially for those of you in communication, you may find this week divine masculine is a little bit funky. It's not going to be personal. It's very much going to be due to the surrounding energies, both astrologically and the cards that are directly coming up. I'm really taking it through my guides as it's not personal. That's what I'm being shown here. With the individuals in their life, they can be very out of sync with them. This can be their family members, it can be their tribe, it can be their children. There is this out of sync vibration. Things simply aren't fitting correctly. There are some challenges around that. And directly speaking, they just feel a little bit off. I think something is happening very quickly, and I think whatever this is, it seems to be moving very quickly. Its direction is the Eight of Wands. It feels like things, hit a stalemate and then they move very quickly. And again, this is a 1 week energy theoretically, but this can move in further depending on how this person is tackling their challenges and adversity. This can linger into the monthly energy as well as the 2nd week energy. Time is fluid. I do feel whatever this is, it can be some information that comes in towards them. It can feel that they're feeling things are going so quickly. Oh my gosh, I'm really getting anxious. Emotions, flooding in and suddenly doors opening. But really, again, like I said, having so many balls in the air, it is going to cause a sense of anxiousness. I do feel fast-paced communication, fast-paced information, connecting in with you. This can be also at a drop of a hat, having to travel. And, we all dread Mercury retrograde with travel. I do feel some of them are going to receive their dreams coming true. Really moving into the magician energy, I find this really super positive. But it's almost like Lady Luck coming in and going, good grief, what do I choose? What do I do? How do I go about this? They definitely do. It's almost like ebbs and flows. It literally feels like a heartbeat. It's like, 20 steps forward, 10 steps back. It's multiple things happening simultaneously. There are some individuals where there's an end to a conflict, and I do feel this end of a conflict could be with some toxic individuals. This could be with the tribe energy. But, the Five of Swords, it feels a little bit like a Debbie Downer energy. It's like, oh gosh, okay, the conflict might have stopped, but it's almost that PTSD after the fact. Now, could this have been an emotional upheaval and this person went through and they were like, this is never going to end, and then it did, and then they've got to really deal with the emotions on the aftermath, and they can really second guess themselves. It's like, well, it's almost like you become addicted to the toxic. And I don't feel divine masculine is addicted to the toxic. I just feel it was like a no-win situation, whatever they were dealing with. And there is a little bit of trauma that's coming to the surface through this, which means they're actually human. But there's directly a fallout. There could have been a huge spat, so to speak. And this could have been through jealousy. I do feel that they've tried to do the best to dot the I's and cross the T's and be fair to individuals. But I feel there has been an unfair circumstance here, and I do feel they were in defense for a bit. Yeah, this definitely for some is, was a relationship that potentially has caused conflict. Now, it could have been the individuals around them were causing conflict for the connection and you. And I do really feel that at a very high level. This could have been their family, co-workers, friendship groups, listening to naysayers. But I also feel the relationships that they're having currently with the nearest and dearest, everybody has an opinion. And, it's almost like the connection and the being able to have healthy relationships for those individuals, they kind of feel semi-doomed. The other message I was getting, and I have to give you what my guides are showing me, is of late, if it has been very in and out with your communication style, they have felt a bit frustrated. Maybe because, at a certain point in the journey, we have a deep problem with the communication, and that's on both sides. And because divine feminine feels traumatized, they may feel, oh my gosh, here we go again. And so this individual is coming through stating that they are experiencing a frustration through the circumstance, because they feel that when they are trying to, and don't shoot the messenger, they feel that things are out of sync and they are doing the very best they can. You may not be completely privy to all the, what word could we use, crap that is going on in their life. And they're like, look, I'm really doing my best. But I do feel more so this is based on a karmic energy. This is like, trying to maybe have access to their children, their siblings, their parents, and, constant conflict arising. And it's, when we do have those individuals in our life that we had maybe tried to prove ourselves to, empaths tend to go through this quite a bit. It feels very disillusioning and very isolating. And it also feels like this resent can come up, that we feel, why am I trying so hard but I'm hitting my head against the wall, and it feels cursed. That's about the best word to use. Yeah, all attempts fail. It just keeps getting messy. So this is one frustration they're voicing here at this point in time. Yeah, they're exhausted. They're really fed up. They feel a bit like, why am I doing this for? Look, it could be access to children. It could be trying to tie up loose ends and come to an agreement with an ex. Trying to, be at work and trying to have time with divine feminine, trying to make it, crossing the T's and dotting the I's. And they do feel like they're kind of asking themselves that question. Is the universe blocking me for a reason? Is there something I'm not seeing? And I do feel really from the top energy, they're aware that there's a lot of balls in the air. They're aware that they're looking to the past and, this was maybe a team environment. I don't know why I'm getting twos company, threes a crowd, but, with the threes. But I do feel in the heart there's lots of opportunities here, and they can see, they've tried to smooth the surface so individuals can work together. But you can't make something work with one person in that team, if that makes sense. So there is an element of frustration. And the Five of Swords, there's a lot of conflict. It might have been really volatile, and they've just come to that real peak point where they're physically exhausted and they go, okay, I just got to drop the ball for a tick. They're stepping back and they're looking at it. They're looking at the conflict within tribe. They're looking at the conflict within their innermost personal connections. They're looking at the reasons why that's happened. For some reason, I feel there was wealth associated to this, and it was, when somebody says to you, okay, well, in order to leave this contract, you're going to lose. You're really going to lose. And, if that person then has put a lot of energy into that, I do feel divine masculine really looking at it going, is the buck worth the squeeze? But the sadness and maybe the attachment and why the delay was for so long is because they did put a lot of work in it, and they did go to hell and back. And so they're thinking, I don't really want to leave with nothing, and I shouldn't have to. I should not have to leave with nothing. They want justice. They want fairness. They're trying to be fair to everyone, but they're also wanting the same for themselves. Yeah, there's a bit of disillusionment. So, like I said, there could be some ups and downs. It is going to be temporary. There is going to be a kind of change of this, and there is going to be a good win. There is going to be a good outcome. It's almost like I feel they're going to have a light bulb moment. Something is going to turn in their favor. And I feel if they have actually followed the book, done the right thing, crossed the T's and dotted the I's, I actually do feel with this outcome card, it's almost like they're facing justice. This could be the Justice Department. This could be a physical divorce. It could be an inheritance or a legacy. It could be that somebody is messing with them and they're having to follow this further. Whatever this is, it's almost like standing before the jury and an outcome is going to be called. This also can be them in the mix, wanting to bring fairness and balance, really critiquing themselves on how they'd been. Is there something I've done? Is there something I could have done better? how can I relate to divine feminine? And I really was seeing engagements. And this could be closing out of one cycle, moving into a new one. For some, it could be stepping back and going, what do I need to reconfigure in this journey so that I can meet my goals? I do have a lot on my plate. I've got a lot of hopes and dreams and aspirations, and that picture frame, it's like, it's gold. It's with love. You've got to have passion for your goals. But at the same time, it's this path that is moving, and it's like timeline jumping. And I see divine masculine looking at it going, okay, I want the best outcome. This could also be getting professional advice on the circumstances. I feel they are very direct. They're very frustrated. They're very direct on what they do want. They're trying not to drag divine feminine into it. I do feel if they're trying to express how they're feeling, maybe a situation they're dealing with, there might have been a bit of a hold up with it because they were trying to understand it themselves because it was happening to them. So, potentially when we're asking questions and a person is trying to unpack it, sometimes they do end up looking at you quite dumbfounded and really not articulating what it is. Because of maybe shame, embarrassment, or really not knowing themselves, how they can look at it, how they can get themselves out of Hades. The next eclipse is Scorpio, and this can be, we already had the eclipse in Aries. So we had an aspect of Pluto making a square. That was a lot of difficulty, especially with tribe and money and, Mercury retrograde in a Venusian sign. Spiritually, what I'm saying with cards is for some, this could be a physical divorce. For some, this could be an ending, a blue and a fight happening within a family. I also feel them at a personal level, whatever they were resolving inside their minds, especially if this person is completely single. I do feel with the ins and outs, pardon me, see throat chakra, trying to come towards you, if they haven't been ready to articulate things, I think they're going to get there. And it does feel soon. The pressure point is like a balloon blowing up. That's about the best way I can describe it. A balloon popping. I'm looking at this moon as the outcome. It's like the yin to the yang with the masculine and the feminine and the justice. They want to bring that to you. But there also are, like I said, multiple balls in the air that they're currently dealing with. The outcome card is justice. They're working it out. And I do feel there could be a bit of a spat and a shock where it does come to the karmic third party energy. Stay tuned. Comment away. Tell me how this resonates with you. And if you are in communication, how it played out for you. See you next week. Hope to see you for the weekly updates and the joint connection, which is on Premiere. We do have super chats on Sundays. If you do want to come through and join that, please remember to click the bell.